Welcome to another episode of the Planet Coaster series, and we're going to be spending a good portion of this first half working on this boat ride's decorations around it. I wanted to create something that looked like splashing water. It would be really cool if I could find a way to time it so that it would splash every time it would swing in that direction, but I don't know if I can. I know you can set like a specific timer so it goes off every certain amount of time, but the time it would take for everybody to board it and to get off would vary. So even if I got it timed correctly the first time, the second time it might not work right. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it and see if there's one that's like that's triggered by it going and then have a certain time frame, because it probably starts and swings the same direction every time. And my cat is howling in the background. So what I'm creating right now is an attempt at like a pond. The biggest problem is we can't do any terrain editing in this challenge mode, whatever mode this is. The career mode, I think it is. So I can't push the sand down to create like a pond, which was what I initially wanted to do. So what I'm doing instead is taking these single colored shapes that they have for building, and I'm just going to be laying this out underneath so that it looks like there's some kind of water. Obviously it's not going to be moving, it has no detail, but I will be adding some special effects that kind of help it. I don't like how reflective these blocks are, so that if you bring the camera to a certain angle, it's just white, and it doesn't matter the color. I've tried to use the pitch black one before, and when you're at a certain angle, it's just white, because it's so reflective and shiny, so it's a little inconvenient. Here I'm adding some greenery around it just to make it feel like it's part of it, and I also was trying to hide the gap between all of the items and the ride, because you can't have anything too close to that fence, so there was naturally a bit of a gap. Also adding some cool new palm trees and stuff like that. Again, just to try to make it seem like it fits with the rest of the park. I do like using all of these plants to help decorate. It's very useful to covering big areas without having to think too much. Here I'm trying to decide what kind of water features I want to include. I'm not actually sure which ones I decide on. I was looking to see which ones. I was hoping for one that just looks like splashes, opposed to providing any real volume, but it kind of just naturally does that on all of them, so I just end up accepting it. And then I'm adding some of these little spouts, I guess, that shoot up little jets of water every once in a while. There's no real pattern to it, though I could if I wanted to. Probably not as well now that I've pushed them on the ground. It'd be hard to select, but had I done it before, I might have been able to. Here I'm adding some of Splash just to kind of cover the fact that it's just, in essence, painted ground. But adding all of the splashes around does help from like a distance make it look like there's water and that it's reacting from the jets. And then adding more of the plants to try to cover that weird gap and just to kind of make the rocks look more natural. Then I decided to add some lily pads. I couldn't remember the name of those for a second. I was against it initially because I was like, if this was an actual fountain with the waterfalls, it might not have those lily pads. They might not make sense there, but I think it looks nice and it covers more of the painted groundedness that it has. Here I decided to add some more stuff to the rock wall on the other side, even though the queue is covered completely by that wreck right there. I thought I'd add more, especially with like the pirates to carry the theme, but the leaning one didn't really work well in that area because I couldn't find anything to lean them against, and I'm tired of only getting to use the same 3 pirates. I do wonder if the film one has more pirate stuff. I feel like it did add some new animatrons for all of the packs, but I could be remembering incorrectly. So it should be something I should look into, just for my own sanity, because I am getting tired of seeing the same people over and over. So I decide to add some of these rocks around the outside and the back to try to make the ride and that little pond area kind of merge in with the background. And rocks are just nice for creating nice organic looking backgrounds. So yes, it is quite the task to sit through, though. Tried to make everything look natural and not too repetitive and just placing a ton of the same thing. But then I decided I wanted to try to use the stone to kind of make it go up into the shape that creates the arch that one pirate sitting at back by that fire, which was there by default, by the way. I don't know why it was there. There's a lot of those random campfires everywhere with no context otherwise. They're just there. So I try to utilize them when I do see them. Again, trying to cover that gap that kind of happens between a ride and the stones. I could maybe try putting one of the shapes there, but again, it's so shiny. I also decided to start adding some of this hanging viney stuff. I can't remember what this one in particular was called, but again, just to add some cool shapes and stuff to the area and to bring attention down to where that pirate in the fire is. Added some over the hanging arch and stone. It also kind of makes the beard look a little less out of place, I guess, because there's more in the surrounding area. Then I'm going to be adding some more plants to this back area, including that one that I've used around the pond to kind of hide those gaps, and then this big bamboo really helped cover up that gap right there. I just didn't want to take the time to cover that whole thing in rocks, and I thought it'd be nice to have like a little cove shaped area with plants. I can't think of the word I want right now, but that empty space for plants was nice, but the bamboo really helped cover it. And then added some more of these plants around the queue and just tying everything together, and I love it. I like the look of it. Then it's hard because I don't know how limited I want my plants to be, because like the fewer that you have, the easier it is to tie it around the whole park, but the more repetitive it looks, you know? So I don't want to use things that aren't anywhere else in the park, but I can't remember what has been used. So I just kind of, if it's something that looks maybe new, like this bright green big leafed thing, I know that's from a different pack that wasn't out when this challenge career was created. And so I'll just sprinkle it beyond around the ride I want to add it to. So you saw me go back over towards where the little octopus thing is and add some over to that direction as well. I really wanted something like colorful because there's a lot of green. So I found this big old red bush, and I knew that there was some somewhere else in the park naturally, just starting out there. So I decided to kind of add some more throughout the park because it's a very specific area. It's all around that grassy area. And so I wanted to try to kind of spread it out to add just little pops of color because there is a lot of green and a lot of gray. Here I'm looking through something, going through the research and adding them. I'm trying to get as much research done as possible, but that did end up costing a ton in the last in-game month. So we were like, I think we were in the negative. We'd spent so much on the researching. I just want it all to be done so that I'm not waiting for something that I might not be able to unlock. Like, I'm pretty sure, even though I'm super, super excited to do it, that I won't be able to add the hotels into this career. I just don't think it's enabled. So I might... Once we finish all of the objectives, I might spend a little bit of time in where I can create the scenarios to allow things like the hotel so I can play around with it and some of the other things that I was looking for that I can't recall right now. But what I'm doing right now is I'm going to spend about a decade trying to get this to line up correctly. And I'm placing it over here by the new ride because... Again, the stuff that's over by the front gates is not doing well. They are not getting any customers, and it's costing us money to have those shops over there. So I thought I'd bring the drink over here and then replace what was over there with the loony balloons, because that's something that they'll definitely want to purchase, and then I'm hoping by having something that they will seek out, I am hoping that them buying there will then lead them to purchase like food and drink and that kind of stuff. I do think when I last checked towards the end, the three shops that are still over there, 3 or 2 shops that are still over there, they're doing a bit better, so that's good. And then over here, because this isn't really inside the pirate city, because that's like through that little arch and everything, and there's like the gates. I wonder if I should put a gate there. Anyway, I kind of wanted this building to look harder to have built. Like, they used what resources was around, which didn't result in like a standard building. It actually is the middle bit of a ship, and I think it's kind of cool because the attraction to the side where the barrels are rolling, and I have it marked as an attraction, the middle bit is missing, so I was thinking it would be kind of cool that they maybe repurposed it and they like flipped it, and it's going to be the roof to this building that I'm creating. I ended up having to delete it because I had turned it without snap on, and it was creating very weird angles with this little like tiki hut, this thing with like the grass roof, which I really wanted to kind of line up so it all looks like a building, but very haphazard, kind of thrown together kind of build, which was what I was looking for on this side. And because of that, I didn't really want to use the same wood that I was using in the main builds on the other side of the mountain. I was trying to find something that looked a little more worn and old and stuff, so I'm actually going to be using the paint from the Halloween pack. I don't actually remember what that pack is technically called. I do associate it with like vampires and that kind of stuff, but that's not necessarily what the pack is. But I think it was like a Halloween pack. And I tried to make it the same color as the boards that are in the little grass hut things, so that it kind of looked like those boards maybe fell off, or that they were going to use those boards to continue the build. But yeah, this is going to be the main portion of the building. There's not going to be any roof because, like I said, I was trying to repurpose the ship. And I was going to leave it this like one wide, but I didn't really like the look of it. It just seemed kind of one note and not like it was actually built together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what's actually like a half of an arch. And it has a part that sticks out, but luckily it's kind of hidden by the shop, so it's kind of shoved into the wall. And I turned the grid to much smaller, because otherwise there would have been no way for me to have put any walls there. But I think putting these offshoots on the side really makes it look like it's part of the build. And then I'm going to be using more vegetation to cover the fact that there's not actually anything there, you know, that they're actually empty. I couldn't really put a wall there, and so, especially because I wanted the ship to kind of look like that's what its purpose was, you know? So I'm just hiding the fact that you can like look through the boards of the ship and see there's a big empty nothingness there. The other side has that little other hut, and so you can't really tell quite as well. I really wish there was something I could lay in the hammock of the hut on the side to make it look like a pirate lived there or something, but they don't have anything that would really work. So, and then I'm going to be adding a food thing, and then I actually spent a lot of time off camera working on it, but due to an error, it was all lost, so we're going to probably be redoing that here in a second. No. Our monthly profit is in the negatives. Not entirely sure why. Park management. Well, some of it's because I'm doing a lot of costs in research, it looks like. Yeah, I did about 2,000 research. Same with last month. And then is this September? Yeah, so very interesting. We're losing quite a bit in research, but soon it'll be done and we won't have to worry about it anymore. And then construction costs. The other expensive thing was that the sea, backwards, super backwards. Okay, The Sea Insanity broke down, and so it wasn't making any money during that time until the repairs were done, and then I refurbished it so that the status was going to be up a little bit. So maybe it'll break a little bit less often because I was doing it pretty frequently, unfortunately. Let's check the status of all of them. The Rocktopus could definitely use being refurbished in not too long. I am wondering if we need another repair guy because a lot of times they're late. But yes, not yesterday, several days ago, when I recorded the first half of this, I was enjoying myself, and so I was playing it probably 45 minutes after I finished recording, and I did a lot of stuff, and then I was checking like this to see if anyone was a thief, because you can often see up here, they'll be like, aha, my next target, or I'm so happy I got away with stealing that, or whatever. Like, you can see that they're a thief pretty easily. And I checked like 5 or 6 of them, and then the last one I clicked broke the game. Straight up, just the game closed. I needed to send in a report for the crash, that kind of thing, and so I lost pretty much everything after the recording that you just saw. So, we're going to be redoing that here. The Victory 5 is pricey. Ooh, yeah, it is. Okay, nobody's getting on this ride. It needs to be $6. Wonder why that is, because I'm pretty sure I checked it before and it was not... It had a higher prestige, like it was in the 300s. Don't know why. Especially because the rating is 100. And I don't think any of the stuff I did around the outside makes a difference on the price, at least not on these placeable rides. If we were to do a planet, or not planet, but a coaster, as is the namesake of this game, then it does, but it doesn't even look like the reputation's gone down, so oh well. We'll just bring it down to $6. I'd rather than paying less and using it more often, you know? Especially because it brings stuff over here. So I put in a tiki hut here, and I think I filled it out and everything. And then the other thing that I did, though I completed and haven't now, is I've added a staff room back here for the people of this area. I added a new, oh thank god I was recording. I was just like, oh my god. Did I remember to hit record? What is it called? I've added a new roster for the, I'm calling it like the outside pirates, the pirate village and the entrance. So anyone within this roster will come to this staff room, which will be good. So let's get this moved. I wanted to remember that I wanted to place one of these, so that's why it was just floating in the middle of nowhere, because I wouldn't be able to forget. Because I wouldn't be able to ignore that. So let's take this on up to where it's attached. Like maybe there? Yes. And then another thing I wanted to do, the one of the rides has a long queue. Hey there, buddy. Feeling a little tired, are you? At least he's content with his paycheck. The other thing I want to do is assign... Why did I make this bookshelf a shop? That was a pain in the butt to make. Flashback to last Let's Play where I placed every one of those books. Yes, so let's get to Pirata and then put staff only. There we go. Nice. Done. And done. Also, I did see somebody who had a moodlet because they'd seen one of the signs that's attached to a ride. So we have one at the entrance of what I'm calling the Pirate Town, or Pirate Village or whatever. And I've attached it to shops and rides and stuff, and apparently they do affect how the customers think about it. It said something along the lines of the advertisement makes that ride look cool or something like that. So it's good to know. This guy up here. Scoot it back a little bit. There we go. Yes. Save. Good. Where's my OK button? There it is. Done. I put an ATM over here and we attached it so it's kind of tucked away, but they can still use it, which was really nice. I did want to put something right in here, like another shop or a bathroom or something, but I think the terrain is too tall. Now that I look at it this angle, that's probably definitely what it was. But it wasn't allowing me to place anything there, so. I just choked on a burp. But yeah, I was gonna put a shop or something there, but it just wasn't gonna have it, which is fine. I like the door look. I was kind of sad that it was going, so I'm alright with it in the end. Yeah, I do wish we could have put water, actual water over here. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it probably makes, like, looks better with the bottom of the ride. That it's not actually water, kind of makes it look part of it. I didn't quite get the water color right. That word is starting not to sound like a word, the more I'm saying it. But it's good. I'm pretty happy with it. And then we've got drinks here and food here. We should get a bathroom somewhere. Considered something like on the side, but there's not really room in this building. Let's get our rides researched. Nothing works there. We should probably get some benches along this path, though it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of garbage. Probably shouldn't jinx it though, right? Alright, so let's get this guy. Set it right there, and a little garbage in the middle. Yes. What a beautiful view. Ooh, that is nice. And then I think we have one down here, yeah. Maybe we'll put another one against this rock. Less nice view. What do you mean? Why can I not place this? Is the slope too bad? I can put it in the path, but I cannot put it behind the path. Fine. Yeah. Fine, that makes sense. I guess you're right, game. Can we do it here? Yes. Bench. Wah, fine. And then one over here. Like so. Thanks for working with me on this one. So we got a couple benches and garbage cans on the way. Looking good. And then I feel like I did something over on this side of the park, but I can't think of what. I should consider maybe having something like this on in the middle maybe of this. It's hard to say, but I should have some kind of gate, because again, I kind of want this to look like a fenced off area. We have an entrance here. Might not be a bad plan to have some kind of doorway against this spot, maybe like right underneath this. Have something built up pretty similar to that right there. Yeah, I think that would look good. Kind of planning for the future. Don't know what to do next. A bathroom on this half would probably be a good next step. I'll have to see where I think would be a good spot. I might put... See, that's rounded. I don't think it would work there. Yeah, I don't think it would. I didn't realize it was flat on this side and round out here. So probably not there. I might need to make a new building, which is fine. I think this looks really cool. So if I could come up with another way of doing something similar and having a bathroom in it. The question is, where would I place it? Yeah, it'd have to be pretty small wherever I decided. Because there's a bathroom over here. This here is the attraction. So I think some of the only space would be maybe right off here. In that little area. Yeah, that's not bad. Could have something lead off right there. Maybe have an attraction. Well, last month went a lot better than the month when we first arrived. Because we were in the negatives. And let's get these up so we can see the end result. So yeah, that went a lot better. That's exciting. It's because we didn't have nearly the construction costs that we did there, so yay! But I think that's gonna— oh my god, my monthly average, the park cash is a penny. I don't think that's right. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.